So Sabine inspired the Knights of Ren. This is going to be my top 5 reasons why I believe that to be true, and why she may have even been the first Knight of Ren. So I'm going to start with number 5. This one is a little weaker, but I believe Ren could be an alternate spelling of Ren. Now, what I mean by that is that Sabine's last name is W-R-E-N, and we know from episode 7 that Kylo Ren's last name is Ren, R-E-N, so there's no W. So this could be a simple misspelling. It could be a name change. It could be an error. There have been over 30 years between the time of Star Wars Rebels and between Episode 7, so there totally could have been a loss of information. I mean, just look at how much Rey had been amazed at the knowledge of Luke Skywalker and the Force and how it was all thought to have been myth. So much stuff had been purged by the Empire. It's entirely possible that maybe the name, the Knights of Ren, had only been passed down orally and never written down. And so if that was the case, you could easily understand why a name would be changed from W-R-E-N to just Ren, because Ren is how it sounds, R-E-N. Additionally, it could have been a name change. Maybe Sabine confronts her mother and has a falling out and feels like she lost a part of herself, so changes her name. Or maybe she's on the run from the Empire and changes her name. Now, you would think, well, Ren isn't much of a change from W-R-E-N, but we've seen in the past where certain characters have changed their name and kept it pretty close. For example, Obi-Wan Kenobi, I wonder if he means Old Ben Kenobi from episode 4. So, a very similar name, and certainly there's precedent for people changing their names but keeping it awfully darn similar, maybe just to show up slightly different to eliminate a search or some kind of automated detection. So that's number 5. Number 4. The price. So Ezra wants to destroy the Sith. He makes a deal with Darth Maul. They can unite these holocrons. Ezra gets a vision. He's almost about to find his answer on how to destroy the Sith, but he's told that there will be a price. Now, this is open-ended. The price could be anything. It could be Ezra's soul. It could be Ezra's life, or it could be the life of someone very near and dear to him. Which supports my long-standing theory that Sabine will die and cause Ezra to take some type of action as vengeance for her death. If Sabine were to die, she could inspire Ezra to form the Knights of Ren. So now that in this price might not happen right away, it could come all the way at the end of the entire show. So there's plenty of time for that to happen. It may not happen, but I think the price for Ezra to destroy the Sith could very well be that the loss of one or more loved ones, up to and including Sabine. Now on to number 3. The Knights of Ren are not a Sith group. Now, that might not sound like a reason why Sabine could inspire it, but let me continue and you'll understand why. See, Sabine is in Rebels, and Rebels is doing a lot to really demonstrate to us that there is more to Force users than simply Jedi and Sith. We see this with Ahsoka. We see this with the Bendu. We've seen this in the Clone Wars with the Ashla and the Bogan representing the good and the bad, and then the Bendu is now the one in the middle. We see Ahsoka say, "I'm no Jedi." Kanan was still given training by the Jedi, but Ezra is now being trained by somebody who was just a Padawan, so he's not going to be a full Jedi. And this is also confirmed when Yoda tells Luke, "The last of the Jedi will you be." It doesn't mean that there aren't other Force users out there. But it's not necessarily Jedi versus Sith. We also see this in episode 7, where they're basically just, good guys and bad guys. Snoke is not a Sith. Snoke is a dark side user. Kylo Ren is not a Sith. He's a dark side user. So, they don't mention the word Sith at all. They're trying to get away from that. So it makes perfect sense that a group that's not specifically aligned with the Sith could have been based on just martial prowess alone, and then could be skewed one way or the other. It could have even started out as a relatively good organization. The only way it would be bound to being outside of the scope that Sabine could have been involved is if it were aligned with perhaps the Jedi specifically or the Sith specifically. But not being a Sith group specifically means that it could absolutely have been based on what's going on with her arc in Mandalore, or what's going on with Ezra's arc of wanting to destroy the Sith. Even if it makes him a bad person, he won't be full-blown Sith. So Ezra may end up dark side because of Sabine's death, taking over and forming this group that is so devoted to destroying the Sith that they become dark side in the process. But so you can actually have dark side versus Sith. So that's my number 3. They're not a Sith group. All right, number 2, the Knights of Ren are possibly Mandalorians. So this group of the Knights of Ren could totally be Mandalorians. They are all using different weapons. None of them are using lightsabers except for Kylo Ren. Where have we seen in the past a group of Mandalorians being led by someone with a lightsaber? Well, we've seen that in the Clone Wars. Darth Maul led the Mandalorians. So there is precedent for that. They very well could be Mandalorians, and if so, that lends a ton of credence to the idea that Sabine had either something to do with forming it or was an inspiration towards forming it. And my number 1 reason is the dark saber. Sabine has the dark saber now. She's going to use it to unite the clans, or try to unite the clans and get Mandalorian support. This kind of lends itself to the image of Kylo Ren standing in front of the Knights of Ren with a lightsaber, and nobody else has a lightsaber. Sabine could be that person. Sabine might also want to take on the term knight because she's training with Kanan. Kanan's a Jedi Knight, right? Or Padawan, but it sounds like knight. It's very Jedi Knight-ish, and maybe not fully Jedi Knight, but maybe she's like, I'm not a Jedi Knight, but I could be a Knight of Ren. And I say this because she's also seen in the trailer using Ezra's lightsaber. We see that she's going to have to fight Gar Saxon, and so she's getting much better at physical combat. It may lead her to take on the term knight, or it may inspire her to name the group. Then maybe they're not going to be Mandalore anymore. Maybe they'll say that they're the Knights of Ren. Now, this could all be proven drastically wrong when the Sabine episode airs, but I have a feeling that this is going to be exactly right. So this has been my top 5 reasons why Sabine inspired the Knights of Ren. If you haven't already, please subscribe if you like this video and want to see more things like this. And also, I appreciate if you could give me a thumbs up and leave a comment and let me know what you think I have right, and let me know what you think I have wrong in this video. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.